Good morning to all of you. In this video lecture, we are going to cover the chapter number 6 and the chapter number 7 of Mastering Grammar for class 7th. Verbs. To begin with this chapter, let us focus on the first highlight, that is verb. A verb is a word that is used to indicate the position or condition of the subject, to denote the action of the subject, or what is possessed by the subject. So, children, Mother Teresa was the founder of the Missionaries of Charity. This sentence tells you something about the subject. What is the subject? Mother Teresa. Now, what information do you get? That she was the founder of the Missionaries of Charity. So, she was holding a position. She served the poor and the sick. Now, here she is used for Mother Teresa and she's doing an action that she's serving the poor and the sick. So here the action of the subject is that the subject is helping, extending his arm of help to the poor and the people who are in need, who are sick. She had a kind and loving heart. Now, Mother Teresa, she was very much kind, so definitely she had possessed a very good heart. Okay, her heart was very much kind, possessed something which belongs to you. So, mother's heart, Mother Teresa's heart, was very kind, loving, full of gentleness, right? So, hope you have got the definition of the verb, right? Now, the next highlight of the page is transitive verbs. In shorter terms, I tell you, transitive verbs are the verbs that takes an object to complete its meaning. Have a look. He asked a question. Now, if we remove this a question part, he asked will look incomplete. So, asked here is the verb that takes the object a question, okay, to complete its meaning. Similarly, he offered food to the beggar. Here, offered food is offered to the beggar. Now, here the verb is offered, and what thing is being offered? Food. So, he offered this much only, right? There is nothing in a continuation of the subject. It will give you an incomplete sense. So verbs which takes object to complete its meaning are transitive. They are intransitive also. We are coming to it shortly. Right now, objects of the verb is the next key highlight. Object of the verb means object are of two kinds. One is direct, another is indirect. Direct object are those which are dead, which are things. Okay, indirect objects are living. They bought a gift for her. Okay, so they bought a gift which becomes direct object, which is dead, which is not living, and the gift is purchased for her. So she has become an indirect object here since she is a live person, she is living her life, she is, breathing, right? So, this way you can easily bifurcate the direct and the indirect object. Now, there are other now here is intransitive verbs, and as you know, intransitive verbs are verbs which are complete in their own selves. They do not require an object to complete their meaning. Say the girl smiled. So when you smile for someone, when you smile at someone, when someone smiles back to you, they do not need anything. They do not need a stick. They do not need to drink water. They do not need something specific to be done in order to do that. So when you feel like smiling, you generally smile, right? So the girl smiles. Smile is an intransitive verb in no need of an object, and yet the action is complete. The eagle has landed. Eagle does not require anything to land on any surface. It will land on its own. It has its body structure, body type, function, like that, right? So the match was won. Okay, the song was sung. Somebody who can sing has sung a song. So the song was sung by her, by him, by the band, and the match was won by the team. So for winning a match, you don't need anything else. You just need to play on your own, and then it will automatically decide your win or your lose. Okay, either you win a match or you lose a match that way. So hope the concept of intransitive verbs are also clear. Now comes the verbs of incomplete predication. Now there are verbs which do not take any object to complete its meaning, but they sometimes require some words or maybe group of words to complete its meaning. Such words are called as complement of the verb. Those words are the complement of the word. Okay, now what is the verb here? The first sentence is the sun shone brightly. The action is shown, right? The verb is shown. How this action is being done? It is very brightly shining, or it was very brightly shining. It was shown, second form of the verb. So it was shining very brightly. The day was windy, or the day is windy, or the day will be windy. So the windy is telling more, elaborating more, the part of the action. Okay, so here windy is acting as a word which is complementing to the verb, right? Here the day is being described, that what was the feature of the day, how the day went. So the day was very windy, right? So here the word windy is used as a word. It is adding more to the meaning of the verb, right? The meaning of the whole sentence enhances, increases, gets more clear, right? By the simple usage of a single word, which is windy. So here, this word is also helping the verb was in order to finish, in order to give, in order to convey a complete sense, right? So these words brightly, these words windy are acting as a complement of the verb, right? So verbs which need the help of some words or a group of words to complete their meanings are called verbs of incomplete predication. So these verbs, shown, was, they are actually these verbs which are using the words windy and brightly, right? So these are the verbs of incomplete predication. Okay, now children, I'm not discussing the exercise as of now because the agenda is to tell you the chapter in brief. And as you know, our half yearlies are very near. So I hope the way I'm explaining, and when you will hear the video not once, twice, you can pause, you can listen again. So you will develop your concept, and based on the concept clarity, you can attend the questions on your own. In case if you stuck at any place, I'm always here, so you can always come to me. All right, now the chief parts of a verb. The chief parts of a verb are present tense, that is the first form of a verb. Hope you all are aware that the first form of a verb is usually the present tense, right? Go, sit, come, sing, talk, walk, dance. These all are the first form of the verb, and they always get used in the present tense, right? The past tense. Now, the second form of the verb is past tense. It tells you about the past form of the verb. Now, past participle. That is the third form of the verb, which is say go, went, gone, right? Play, played, played, ask, asked, asked, talk, talk, talked, right? So likewise, they are called chief parts of the verb because we can form all the other parts with their help, right? Now, main or principal verbs. Main verbs are like prepare, knock, eat, drink, run, and so on. We may add d, ed, ing at the end of such verbs to form new verbs. The base form of the verb or the principal verb may be changed according to other words in a sentence. Say bake, an arrow is moving from bake to the new form which is baked. Sing, singing. Sometimes we change the base form of the verb. What do you mean by the base form of the verb? It means base form is the first form of the verb. Okay, so don't get confused. So what does it say? It says that sometimes we change the base form of the verb also. So this is the first form. It is changed now, baked, right? It is the first form. It is changed now to singing. Sometimes you may change it to sings, right? Then a lot many things can be done. Then now the auxiliary is similarly grow to grown, grew, fly, flew, flown, right? So now let's focus on auxiliary or helping verbs. These are verbs like be, do, can, have. They are changed according to the tenses or to show the manner of actions expressed by the principal verb. They are also used to form questions and negative sentences. Yes. Now uh, let's frame some sentences. Auxiliary verb be may be used as is, am, are, was, were. Right. So you can frame as many sentences as your mind can think. I am a girl. I am not present in the class. I'm at home, right? I'm taking classes from home. Where are you today? You are not here in the class. Similarly, I was there, I was not there. They were playing cricket on the ground. They were not found anywhere. So, these are verbs be. These are the verbs be. Now, verb has how many form of has? Verb has have. It has had, it has have, it has will have, it has shall have, right? बेटा वर्ब भी एक कैटेगरी है जिसमें इज एम आर वॉज वर आता है. वर्ब हैज भी एक कैटेगरी है जिसे हम आपने सुना होगा वर्ब टू बी. कौन कौन से वर्ब्स हैं? इज एम आर वॉज वर. उसी तरीके से वर्ब हैज भी एक कैटेगरी है. वर्ब हैज के कितने फॉर्म होते हैं? हैज खुद, देन हैड, देन हैव, फिर विल हैव भी आ जाएगा, शैल हैव भी आ जाएगा. सिमिलरली नाउ ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब डू. डू वर्ब डू के कितने फॉर्म है? डू, डिड, डज, है ना? डू, डिड, डज. ठीक है. ओके. नाउ वर्ब कैन, इसका पास्ट फॉर्म यूज होता है कुड की तरह. ये तो आपको पता ही होगा. So let's move ahead. Sometimes the principal verb is changed according to its use in the sentence. राइट. सो अभी तक हमने ये देखा ऑक्सिलरी और हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स. ऑक्सिलरी को ही हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स भी कहते हैं. एकदम बेसिक अपना क्लैरिटी के साथ चलना है. चैप्टर बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है. वर्ब्स के बारे में बताया जा रहा है. सो आप लिखते भी चलिए, आप सेंटेंसेस भी बनाइए, आपको पता भी चलेगा. तभी आप इन रूल्स को अच्छे से समझ पाएंगे और जितने भी तरीके के क्वेश्चंस आएंगे आप उसे अटेम्प्ट कर पाएंगे. ठीक है. आपको पता चल पाएगा कि क्वेश्चंस में करना क्या है. Here are a few examples of verbs and their change form. Now, principal verb and the change form. Wake, woke, woken, waking. Grill, grilled, grilled. Speak, spoke, spoken, speaking. Dance, danced, dancing. Refine, refined, refining. Ride, rode, ridden, riding. Break, broke, broken, breaking. Blow, blew, blown, blowing. Begin, began, begun, beginning. Grow, grew, grown, growing. Shake, shook, shaken, shaking. Now see, this is again a kind of exercise. Here I have already filled, so you should not look at my answers but look at the question. Read the following passage and fill in the blanks with appropriate form of principal verbs. Now we have just seen these are the principal verbs, okay? The left column, the left hand side shows the principal verb while the right hand side shows its various varying forms, the changed form, how the verb will be in the past form, how the verb will be in the present form, and then the form of the verb in the third participle form, right? So do this exercise and then strong and weak verbs. What are weak verbs? There is a simple way to find out whether a certain verb is weak or strong. In the past tense form of a verb, if there is a final D or T which is not there in the present tense, it is a weak verb. So children, have you seen how quickly and how vigilantly you can identify if a verb is weak or not? Let's have a look. So the tip says that if you find D and T in the end, in the end of a past tense verb form, then that verb is a weak verb. Acquire, acquired, acquired. So here we can see D, D, D. Can you see D, D, D? This is D, right? Now, bend, bent, bent. Build, built, built. Build is not given. I'm adding it. Cancel, cancelled, cancelled. Deal, dealt, dealt. Damage, damaged, damaged. Bark, barked, barked. Address, addressed, addressed. Right? So these all verbs can be called as weak verbs because they are carrying D or T in the past form. Right? And in the past participle too. Well, now this is the list. You can read it and you can learn and retain as many as you can. Now there's a note. The inside vowels of some verbs are changed to form the past tense, but apart from this, they also need a final D or T, which is not there in the present tense form. Such verbs are also called as weak verbs, right? So what does it say? It says that the inside vowels of some verbs are changed. What do you mean by inside vowel? Do you know how many vowels are there in English language? 5. A, E, I, O, U. So say, let us find out that inside vowel which gets changed to form a past tense. So if it gets changed, it will get a D or T, right? A D or T in their changed form, which is different from the present tense form. So these verbs are also called as weak verbs, right? Buy, bought, right? See, they have given the example here. Inside vowel, U is the vowel here, B-U-Y. U is a vowel which is coming inside, in between of these three alphabets. Inside means spelling के बीच में आपका vowel आ रहा है U. लेकिन जब हमने इसका past tense बनाया तो इस U की जो पोजीशन है वो तो रहती है वैसे ही, लेकिन इसके एंड में आ जाता है टी फॉर्म, और टी फॉर्म जहाँ पे भी आएगा आप समझ जाइएगा कि वो वर्ब वीक है. इसी तरीके से टेल, टेल विल बिकम टोल्ड, राइट? सो टेल taking e in the. So now we have seen that how you, when comes in between of the spelling, and the moment its form is changed, a T is there in the end of the past tense of this verb form. So again it is a weak verb, right? And then tell also, catch also, caught, T, T, D, right? So hope you are understood. Now the strong forms. Some strong forms, some strong verb forms their past tense by changing the inside vowels of their present tense. How? Just have a look. They say that the feature of a strong verb is that the vowel which is present in the present form, that is in the first form, that is in the base form, it is changed when you make its past form, when you make its past participle form, right? Say I has, which is the inside vowel, it gets changed to O and then I again, right? So, but basically they are focusing on the past tense only. Arise, awoke. Arise, sorry, I said awoke. Arise, arose. Awake, awoke. Bear, bore. Blow, blew. Choose, chose. Come, came. Dig, dug. Right? So this vowel is getting changed. Right? This inside vowel is getting changed in its past form. So it means it is a strong verb. राइट आप बस कॉन्सेप्ट पे ध्यान दो, जो चीज़ें बोली जा रही हैं, जितने एग्जाम्पल्स आप लर्न कर सकते हो. दिस इज अ लॉन्ग लिस्ट एंड इट इज no there is no harm in learning all these things, children. These are the basic general knowledge thing, and if you can get these concepts easily in no time, then it is going to help you in your writing, in your speaking, in your reading, in your listening also, right? So then there are verbs which do not change in any of the three forms: present, past, past participle, like bid, bet, cut, hurt, cast, caused, hit, let, put, read, shut, split, thirst, spread, set. So the three forms of these verbs remain same, right? So, you know, this is how the verb information has been shared in this chapter. It's very interesting to know. And then correct use of some verbs. Now, here comes a long list of the verb forms, right? I am going to explain first three, and in the same manner you are going to understand the rest of the verb forms, okay? Use of born, comma, born. The word bear has different forms. Look at the table. Bear, bore, born means to carry, right? So the next word says bear, bore, born means to give birth to a new being, right? So how these two words are almost similar in the first two forms, but in the third form they are way different and the meaning also changes. Have a look at the examples. The bricks were borne by the laborers on their heads. Means those bricks, ईंटें, जो ईंट होती है उसे मजदूर ढो के अपने सर पे ईंटों को ढो रहे हैं ढो रहे हैं और वो उसे ले जा रहे हैं, राइट? आई शुड नॉट स्पीक दिस मच ऑफ हिंदी. आई थिंक द सेंटेंस इज सो सिंपल दैट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड, right? So the first one, the meaning of the first bear is applied here, which means they are carrying the bricks on their heads. The second one, Mahatma Gandhi was born in Gujarat. How these two words are used, one is depicting the load, other is depicting the birth of our godfather, right, which is Mahatma Gandhi. Similarly, fell. Fell is the past form of the verb, which is fall, right? The boy fell off the chair. When fell is used in the present tense, it indicates to cause something to fall. Its forms are fell, felled, felled, right? So, what does it mean? So here the three forms of the verbs are shown, right? Have a look. Fell, yeah, the woodcutter fell the trees easily. So what is the function of a woodcutter? It cuts trees. So definitely so many trees are cut by the woodcutter, and so the word felled has been used. Felled, which is the past tense. The woodcutter felled the trees easily, right? Then the boxer fell down his rival after a long fight. So the fight continued for so many hours, and then the boxer fell down his rival after a long fight. So that's how the word fell is been used, and its forms are also shown in the examples. Now the third one is use of hanged, hung. The word hang has different forms. Hang, hung, hung means to suspend. Hang, hanged, hanged means to put to death by tying a rope round the neck. Okay, the murderer was hanged yesterday. Now he was hanged by a rope. A rope. He was put to death by tying a rope around his neck. Second, the clothes were hung on a clothesline to dry. Right? It means the clothes were freely suspended with the help of a clothesline. She hung the mask on the door. Now the mask was also hanging by some hook on the door, right? So children, in the same way, you have to go through the usage of lie, rise, raise, saw, and then these two exercises, okay? Give the past and past participle form of the verbs given below. This is a very good question. Go through it. Such questions. The half-yearly question paper of grammar and writing will definitely be taking questions. You know, the kinds of questions which are mentioned in the exercise, solve it, practice it. 100% of chances that similar questions, what is given in the grammar book, can be asked, or the same questions, the same concepts can be tested through other different forms also. Right? So you find out the verb forms of this question number, and then it is an exercise. What does it say? Here you have to use the correct form of the verb: rise, flee, sting, choose, forbid, draw, withdraw, fell. Right? So you can easily do this now. Moving on to the next part, which is formation of verbs. Verbs कैसे बनते हैं? Verbs को हम form कैसे करते हैं? We can form verb from adjectives, right? How? Say large is a word. Now, how to make it a verb? Enlarge. We have added n ahead of large. N plus large becomes enlarge. Able. We have added en. Again, an en is added to able. It becomes enable. Fresh. Add re to fresh. It becomes refresh. Add, you know, modernize. Now the term is modernize. So ise is added after modern and it gives a new form which is modernize. Thick, thicken. So from adjectives, these words are adjectives, children, and verbs are created from these adjectives. Large is an adjective, enlarge is a verb, able is an adjective, enable is a verb, fresh adjective, refresh verb. Okay, similarly, now we have a box. Verbs may be formed with the help of some common prefixes. So these are the common prefix. Okay, this is the prefix, this is the word, and then this is the main word which has been changed and which has been highlighted. So n is the prefix. When it gets added to courage, it becomes encourage, and when b is added to head, it becomes behead. When b is added to little, it becomes be little. When n is added to circle, it becomes encircle. When n is added to joy, it becomes enjoy, ennoble, ensure, endear, right? So when we add suffix ise to the word apology, it makes the verb apologize. While you are going to school on your bicycle, you hurt a child by mistake. Will you apologize to him, her, or move ahead quickly? Give your reasons for decision. Definitely, my children are not that kind. They will definitely stand by the person who got mistakenly injured by their move. So, yes, so this is how a new fact is given in the form of value corner. Children, I do hope that you are getting clear with the concept of verbs in this chapter number 6. Do read and learn and try to use these verbs in your sentences too. Verbs may also be formed by adding suffix to a word. Now, prefix and suffix, right? What is a prefix? When that part is added where? In the front of the word, right? The word is head, so B is added before the word HEAD. Now, when something is added after the word, it usually falls in the category of suffix. Say apology, ISE is added after G, so apologize. Critic, ISE is added, criticize. Equal, equalize. Standard, standardize. Publicity, publicize. Real, realize. Memory, memorize. Special, specialize. Summary, summarize. Civil, civilize. Drama, dramatize. Energy, energize. Hope I have read the first what? First horizontal row. Now you people can read the other like this and can take the exercise G, H, I, J, right? That's how the chapter ends. Verb ends. So we have read transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, verbs of incomplete predication, which tells you about complements, right? Then present form, the chief forms of the verb, present tense, and past participle tense. So children, I just hope that the chapter verbs is understood by you and you will not feel any glitch in making meaning out of it. Do take the exercises. Wherever you get stuck, ask me. I'll tell you the answer too. So happy learning and keep revising.